questions. I'd just like a volunteer. Thank you. So please be clear about whether you are addressing to the proposition or the opposition, and I'd appreciate also very short and concise questions because I'm sure there's many of us that like to speak. So we'll start just here at the front, then we'll go to the back and to the right. Thanks.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak, and thank you to St. Ethelburgers for putting on this event this afternoon. Thank you to all four of our speakers.
Sorry. It's on the side. The switch is on the side. Yeah, there we go. Great.
Boom. Very good. So that was thanks to St. Ethelburgers and to all of our four speakers, who all have a common bond in that they're all basically saying to us that what we presently experience is not as good as it could be. We need to be moving on to something better. Those of you who received a piece of paper from me earlier on might look at the coloured map on the front, and this is the point in question that I'm making. Those of you that didn't receive that, mostly in that direction, if you want to hand those over. And if there are any behind me. Right, the point of my contribution is to say, are you at all interested in something that's better than we presently experience? And if so, have you got anything to critique against the plan that's on the back of the sheet that I've just given you?
Yeah, we can't really go over your plan.
Yeah.
Because the very nature of a debate is that you set up a straw man, which is what Dave did, and asked us to then discuss that straw man. Because the reason that I'm pointing to the coloured map is that the libertarians in the southwestern quadrant, in Richmond and Kingston, in the London map, are telling us that there is no alternative to the freedom of capitalism. And the authoritarians in northeast London are telling us that the only alternative is state-led intervention in the market.
Okay, thanks very much.
So the question is, how do we feel about the campaign for cooperative socialism?
That's grand.
Okay.
Who else? We're going to over here at the front, and then we're going to go to the back. Just over here, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to have this debate in such a setting, firstly, and congratulations. My point's very simple, and I'd like to put it, well, to anyone really, I'm not particularly bothered, on both camps. It's about a vision. Moral political economy. I think whatever system we have, we need new words. My focus, and I would advocate everyone on the planet to move towards a paradigm shift, a universal paradigm shift towards a moral political economy. I didn't hear any speaker, with due respect, some great insights there, but the word moral seems to have been banned. Point one, how you define it is another issue, but I would say very simple, meet the needs of people and planet and justice, the word justice. And basically, that wasn't mentioned. And I think that's what we need. And why haven't the panel addressed the need for a moral political economy?
Great, thank you. We're just going to pass to the front here.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a very quick point of information. With respect to these debates, which unfortunately tend to be couched in economic aspects, I think it's crucial to make it clear that there needs to be a legal component as well. Because the thing is, I mean, it's all very well saying more laws. More laws are not necessarily the answer. Because the thing is, unfortunately, what tends to happen, there's a lack of enforcement of the law. And the thing is, this is what led to the 2008 situation with recession, depression, because what was agreed in the US was agreed in the UK and throughout the EU. With respect to a previous Prime Minister, I just need to make this very, very clear. Mrs. Thatcher, she made a big thing about, paying taxes, and you must pay your inheritance tax. I just need, the lady's dead now, so I can say this. She actually set up a trust fund in Jersey Channel Islands one of the 7 jurisdictions in the British Isles. And the thing is, it's very important to be aware of how the tax system operates. If you are an employee,
okay, I'm sorry, I can't
you
seem to find a
cannot
question.
avoid,
you cannot avoid
tax, whereas if you're Schedule D, you can, and you're encouraged to do so.
I'm going to have to really shorten now, so please, we're going to have 2 minutes per question, and I'm going to cut you short if you don't stick to that. So we're going to go to this gentleman here, we're going to go to the back, and then we're going to move to this side. Thank you.
Sorry, which gentleman?
This gentleman at the front.
So,
yeah, we've got one. Okay, so questions, please, short and concise. Thank you.
Yep. How much more difficult is it going to be to reform things if the TTIP and TPP trade agreements go ahead?
Thank you. At the back. At the back there. Thank you. Okay, sure.
Socialism, what we're hiding behind those, using them. And the second one is, why we don't look at how society is operating and structured, like representative democracy, and if this particular organization have to do something with the malaise which we're suffering at the moment.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask about the way that the government has raised the tax thresholds. And I'd like to know what the panel think about how that might have benefited, if at all, the low paid. And I'd also like to ask a question on hedge funds, if that's possible. My understanding is that hedge funds are basically the idea to hedge your bets, which implies that you have bet in one direction and you are then betting in another just to be make sure your losses aren't too severe. And I'm just wondering whether there is perceived any facility, any possibility of introducing a requirement that there has to be both sides of the issue invested in. In other words, you can only hedge your bet if you've already betted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to call on any females who might have a question, because we've heard from lots of men. Any females? Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to ask the people who were pro-capitalism about the issue of the coming ecological we're in a crisis of ecological crisis, and this issue of growth, because David Graeber and Pettifor both picked up on that really strongly. So how do we have a sustainable capitalism, if you think that's possible? And also, just on the issue of fiduciary duty, so the duty on companies to make a profit. What if we had a fiduciary duty that was really clear that companies had to pursue well-being, people and planet, rather than profit? Would that be helpful?
Thank you. And we're going to take one last question. I think there was a lady at the front here. Thank you.
Some of you know what's coming already. I just was wondering, I mean, unconditional basic income has been posed as something that could both save capitalism and also destroy it, and I'm just interested on the panel's thoughts on that.
Thank you. Okay, so the opposition is now going to sum up for us and answer the question. So Anne, are you prepared to have a go?
No, I don't want to have a go.
No? Okay.